I'm Ed Schilling, and I'm coming to you from Anchorage, Alaska. I've asked Dave to give me a moment to share with you what a great blessing praise gathering has meant to me. Finding your music was not an answer to just one prayer, but two prayers. And your music has been used as one of the tools and instruments that God has used to bring some healing in my life. To put this in context, last year, our 47-year-old son, one of our two sons, was killed by a grizzly bear about 1.5 miles from the wilderness cabin he and his wife had built some 18 years ago. In my grief, I found that there seemed to be a great chasm between my faith and my feelings. And this was especially true when it came to praise and worship, because by faith I knew that of all the times that I needed to praise and worship, it was now, in the midst of what seemed to be unending grief. I asked some of the church family here to pray with me that God would intervene and bring someone or something into my life that would help me narrow that chasm. I also asked them to pray that in our lives we would find what Paul spoke of in Romans 8:28, when he said, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him and who have been called according to his purpose." I also specifically asked them to pray that God's intervention would be so profound that I would not mistake his hand in it. At some point, I decided to look for some music. I was looking for the song, the anthem, "Thou, O Lord," from Psalm 3. I believe it was a miracle that of all the positive search results, God drew me to praise gathering. I listened to the song and I wept, and I listened and I wept. I will just say that over the course of time, I got to the point where I was not just listening, but I was singing along with you. I sent an email to the general mailbox of Praise Gathering, sharing what I've just shared with you, and I received a loving and compassionate response from Dave, and we become friends. You see, what I think has happened is that by the power of the Holy Spirit, pebbles that you dropped in the water there in Scotland, the Holy Spirit sent a wave surging across 9 time zones into our home here in Anchorage. One of the songs that I found that blessed me especially was "My Living Hope," because you may recall that it starts out, "How great the chasm." I shed many tears listening to that song. I asked Dave to pass on to the soloist how much that blessed me, and to tell her that when she sang, it felt like a heat lamp was turned onto my wounded soul. I soon received a wonderful reply from Joanna Skillings, and we've become friends now. And by her encouragement and Dave's, I'm now participating in your virtual choir performances, and they are such a blessing to be in. I wanted you to hear this message because you never know what God will do and how he can multiply what you're doing there. And I have shared links to your songs with some 86 of my friends here. God bless to all of you who are involved, those that I can see and we are seen, and to those who are behind the scenes who make this such a powerful ministry.